Welcome everyone to Dead Talk Live. I'm your host Viz from Walking Dead Now. Want to welcome all of our viewers tonight. If you're visiting us for the first time and want more information about our show, please visit our website located at deadtalklive.com. And as always, if you haven't already done so, please visit our YouTube channel, which is called Walking Dead Now, and please subscribe. And if you're there right now, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up on this broadcast. Want to welcome everybody tonight. Saz is going to be handling the text chats tonight. And of course, we have our various moderators throughout all the platforms. So I hope everyone's enjoying their Saturday evening. Of course, Saz is with us. Andrew is joining us on YouTube. X-Gamer, I'm a white boy. Junior Jams is with us on YouTube. Welcome, Junior Jams 3S. Eric Perez is with us on YouTube as well. Let's see, Rick Grimes, who's a regular now, is with us. Diana is also joining us on YouTube. On the Facebook side, we have Youssef, who's joining us. Cassandra is also on YouTube. Welcome, Cassandra. Lindsay's on Facebook. Dawn is with us on Facebook as well. Looking over to the Instagram side, lots of people coming in. I'm just scrolling up. Joseph Civil is with us. Guayo, 3P, Zamora, 12OCC, Sunis, Sussus, Carmen is joining us on Instagram. Regular AZ Gamer is saying hey. Stenningal, another regular, is saying hello as well. Sufain is joining us. Z's, I'm just quickly scrolling up the list. AZ Gamer is saying hello to Viz. Hello, AZ Gamer, welcome. It's Your Barn, or BRN, is giving us a thumbs up on Instagram. John is giving us a thumbs up on Instagram. Welcome to all you guys. It's okay, Gamer. He's apologizing for missing yesterday's live. We are on every day, guys. I don't expect everyone to join us every day. So, don't worry about that. Marcos is with us. Sussus is saying hello and waving. Caesar is also with us on Instagram. Sue is joining us on Facebook. Ria is also joining us on Facebook. Kimmy is with us on YouTube. Hey, Kimmy, how are you doing? So we received a brand new video submission yesterday, actually, but it was such a crazy day yesterday, I wasn't able to get to it. It's from our team member, Kat. She always does great videos, without question. She did a video, Daryl and Carol, okay? And it's called Fading Like a Flower. And of course, like I said, Kat's videos are always awesome. That's why she's in charge of our video editing productions. So let's go ahead and watch this video by Kat. Her YouTube channel is called Charmed Even Star. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Tell me why
Amazing job, Kat. As always, I love your edits, but I gotta say one thing, Kat. Your music choices are second to none. That was Roxette, guys. Back in the 90s, late 80s, Roxette. Love it. Just love it. Love it. Love it. That was such a great freaking video. So great job, Kat. Great job. We're so lucky to have you on our team. That was amazing. And Nikki on Instagram writes epic. Epic. That's a great word. Evelyn on Instagram says awesome and gives a big love heart. So amazing work, Kat. Amazing, 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 amazing. AZ Gamer writes, that was awesome and mind-blowing. Stenengal writes, just to let you know, the custom mask has the measurements and design chosen, so with the company to make. Okay, I think I missed a part of that conversation. Matthias is with us on Instagram. And you're very, very welcome, Kat. Sue Jacobson on Facebook writes, awesome video. Celeste is with us on Facebook. Welcome, Celeste. Celeste Rotundo is, like I said, joining us on Facebook. So, by the way, the name of that video was called Fading Like a Flower, as you saw in the beginning there. So, if you guys noticed in the trailer for Fear the Walking Dead, there is a scene with a person wearing a very creepy white mask. Let me show you the picture of what I'm talking about. So that's Sherry. Okay, obviously Sherry's coming back. Third person to cross over from The Walking Dead into Fear. And it looks like that might be a mirror reflection. It might just end up being a mannequin, for all we know. But Screen Rant did an article about this as to, you know, who that person might be in the creepy white mask. And when I look at this mask, it's similar but not similar to the Scream mask. Sorry, wrong button there. It looks very similar to the Scream mask. So here's what the article had to say. As seen in Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 trailer, a hand, most likely Dwight's, although this could be clever editing, draws back a curtain to find a hooded stalker in a plain white mask standing directly outside the window. It's a deeply unsettling image that leans fully into the horror elements of the Walking Dead world. But there's no indication of who might be that person in disguise. The unidentified watcher is wearing a dark coat and black hoodie, and no other character in the trailer appears to be clothed in the same ensemble. While Ginny and her pioneers have consistently operated in the open thus far, rather than going incognito, later in the trailer, more figures in white masks appear on horseback attacking Al's truck. The most likely explanation is that these masked folks are new antagonists in Fear the Walking Dead, entirely separate and most likely opposed to the pioneers. By the end of Fear the Walking Dead's 5th season, Al's SWAT truck had been taken by Ginny, so assuming the vehicle doesn't change hands next season, the masked group's horseback attack indicates they're at odds with the pioneers. But until now, the pioneers have appeared all-powerful in the current landscape of Fear the Walking Dead, able to dominate local communities into submission and even get the better of Morgan's survivors. However, if the masked horse riders have beef with Ginny, this could give Fear the Walking Dead's protagonists a route out of their current predicament, exploiting the rivalry between the pioneers and the white masks to either escape or seize control of Ginny's community. It is also possible that the likes of Alicia, John, and Strand will team up with the new villains considering these newcomers the lesser of two evils compared to the pioneers. Thinking specifically about the masked figure at the window, a familiar face could be behind the disguise. Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 trailer makes it appear as if the mystery character is standing outside Dwight's window. Could his stalker be former partner and fellow savior Sherry, played by Christine Evangelista? Sherry's already confirmed to appear in the upcoming season of Fear the Walking Dead and has been dwelling in the same approximate locale as her ex and his new friends, instead of living alone or joining the pioneers. Sherry might have fallen with the group wearing the white masks, which would also explain how Ginny knew about her in Season 5. Sherry being part of Fear the Walking Dead's new villains would certainly help grease the wheels in terms of forging a partnership against the pioneers. So there you guys have it. I know that was kind of long, I apologize, but there were no, unimportant parts that I could cut out of that. So some interesting scenarios there with Sherry possibly, joining a group that is considered antagonists. We don't know. I'm sure the Sherry that we're going to see in Fear the Walking Dead is not going to be the same Sherry that we last saw letting Daryl escape out of the sanctuary on The Walking Dead. They're going to probably change her character up a little bit. Give her a little bit of more of a backstory. So not only do we have a masked character to figure out who that is in the upcoming The Walking Dead finale, talking about the masked ninja person that confronts Aaron and Alden, but now we also have a masked person on Fear the Walking Dead as well. So let's see. George is with us on Facebook saying cannot wait when he returns. Diana is with us on YouTube. Summer has joined us on YouTube as well. Cassandra says that's very creepy. Celeste loved the Carol and Daryl video. X-Gamer writes, Jason, get out of The Walking Dead. It looks like Jason's hockey mask. I can see that. Diana says, I'm a Carol and Daryl shipper. Lindsay says, love Daryl and Carol. Patrick is with us on YouTube. Says, hey, The Walking Dead now, tuning in for the first time. Welcome, Patrick Joseph on YouTube. And thank you so much for giving our show a chance. We really appreciate that. Let's see what the Instagram people are saying. AZ Gamer writes, yep, that's kind of like Jason Voorhees. I can definitely see that. Haley on Instagram writes, she's too sweet. Speaking about Sherry, yeah, but, a lot of time has passed. And as we know in the Walking Dead universe, people don't remain the same. And the last image we saw of Sherry, she was a very sweet person, had enough of Negan, and she just left. And that was the last we saw her. So who knows what has become of her. Is it the same Sherry? Is it a different Sherry? We just have to tune in and find out, Let's see. Haley writes, I'm so excited for the season 10 finale. Yes. As each day goes by, we are getting closer and closer to October 4th, which is when we are going to get this finale. And I'm excited right along with you guys. How many of you guys would like to see, how many of you guys would like to have your very own life-size Daryl Dixon cardboard cutout? I'm sure a lot of you, right? Life-size Daryl Dixon cardboard cutout. Okay? Now, if you're looking for one, I think I may have found the perfect one for you guys. Check this picture out. I love this. I think this is awesome. Here we go. This is a life-size cardboard cutout. Very well done. Very lifelike. And I found this on Pinterest. So it just shows the picture. I don't know where you can buy it, but it's available somewhere out there. I don't know if it's a one-of-a-kind original, or I don't know if it's something that's been mass-produced. But if you guys want a life-size Daryl Dixon, this is the one I would recommend. Summer writes, there you go, Saz. Saz is a very huge Daryl Dixon fan and a Negan fan. Saz writes, love it. She has the Negan one. Andrew writes, that actually looks really awesome. Kat writes, OMG, yes. That's a badass picture of Daryl right there. That's a badass picture of him. I love that. Princess Star 92 writes, that is so cool. Roland is joining us from Argentina on Instagram. Haley is giving us a lot of love hearts for the Daryl cutout. Welcome, Roland from Argentina. Lindsay on Facebook says, I want one. I want one. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind having that either. Summer says, I got my life-size poster of Andy Candy, a.k.a. Rick Daddy. Yeah, for you guys out there that don't know, Summer Springer on YouTube is a very huge Rick and Michonne fan. So anyway, I thought you guys might appreciate that cardboard cutout picture. Cooper Andrews, who plays Jerry on The Walking Dead, reveals the backstory that he imagined for his character Jerry on The Walking Dead. Here's what he had to say. I didn't receive a backstory. I always felt my character was so in the moment that whatever he was beforehand, it just didn't matter to him, Andrew said. During the Scares the Care 2020 virtual convention, and performance-wise, I don't like giving myself that kind of rule, especially on a show like this where we can be anything now in the apocalypse. While shooting The Walking Dead snowy season 9 finale, The Storm, which sees Jerry and the other displaced Kingdom survivors navigate a harsh blizzard, Andrews imagined Jerry was a weather presenter pre-apocalypse. Now, can you guys see Jerry as a weatherman? I can't. He goes on to say, I fancied being a weatherman when he had the snow episode at the end of season 9, Andrew said. I just think it would be really funny if we were going by a bus on horses and you see my face. And yes, he laughs on a cardboard, on a big, ad cardboard. There were a few different versions of the character who would become Jerry during the audition process, including one iteration that was Zen-like. I don't know quite what the plan was with Jerry. For me, it was being such a fan of the show, trying to find a comedy that worked for it and within it, which is always difficult, Andrews recalled. And so I think we just sort of rolled with it, just sort of seeing how it happened. During a convention appearance earlier this year, Andrews admitted he expected Jerry to be a very short-lived character when he won the role in the show's 7th season. My first season, I was like, all right, I'm going to do 4 or 5 episodes. I'll probably die at the end of it, and that'll be fun. I'll get to say I did The Walking Dead, Cooper said at GalaxyCon Richmond. I had no clue of the reaction I would get from people. The character, I had no clue. I was just hoping people wouldn't hate the guy. And just knowing that little more that's been happening every season, I've just been excited about and very grateful for. Andrew next appears in The Walking Dead Season 10 finale, which is called A Certain Doom, where Jerry fights alongside the Coalition in the deadly battle of the Whisperer War. And we all hope that we don't lose Jerry. Jerry is just one of those characters that you sort of kind of need on The Walking Dead. We all love him. I think we all love him. If anybody here is indifferent to Jerry or doesn't like him, please let us know. But I like him. I like him a lot. He's very loyal and just a great person. Haley writes on Instagram, I love Jerry. He's awesome. My favorite episode is when they are getting the light bulb and he's singing to the song. You guys remember the light bulb for the movie projector? Where they wanted to show a movie at the fair because nobody has seen a movie and none of the young kids ever had seen a movie before in their life. So he wanted to give them that experience. Let's see. Naz has given us a thumbs up. AZ Gamer writes, I'm a big fan of Rick Grimes, Daryl Dixon, Negan, the big three. And yep, I love Jerry. Sandra Carroll has given us a big thumbs up. CC Wheezy writes, Jerry's got a big heart. He absolutely does. Mo M2 is also waving at us. Lindsay on Facebook loves Jerry. Cassandra Drake on YouTube writes, yep, he's such a sweet personality. Diana on YouTube writes, DJ Jerry. I love that. DJ Jerry. I love that. So, all right. Now, there was a thing done, an article of the 5 best things of season 2. This is going back 8 seasons of The Walking Dead, and 5 things that we would change. I hate when they use the word we. This is their interpretation. But I'm like, you know what? Let's go through this list of 5 things we love about season 2 of The Walking Dead, and 5 things we would like to change. Supposedly. So let me go ahead and bring that up and we can go through this together. Okay? So, like I said, okay, here we go. 5 best things of The Walking Dead and 5 things that we would change. Alright? Number 10. Shane's deterioration. Best. Absolutely. I agree. Don't change that. You know, him slipping into madness was awesome. And it goes on to say, even though he turned into an incredibly evil villain in his own right, there are still quite a few fans out there who love Shane, mainly because it's always fun to root for the bad guy. Number 9, they would change Carl getting shot. Alright, can't really argue with this too much. Did not have a real profound impact on the plot of season 2. You thought it might, but can't say that it really did. And it goes on to say, while we understand the shooting of Carl was done as a way of introducing the world to the farm, it just seemed like a pretty random way of getting to that point. The shock factor was certainly there, with Carl catching a bullet fairly cleanly, but in all honesty, the fact that he was even able to survive seemed a bit out there. Number 8, Edwin's secret, Jenner. Okay, even though that was at the end of season 1, it wasn't until the finale of season 2 where Rick reveals what Jenner whispered in his ear. The big secret that everyone's infected. Number 7, they would change Herschel's attitude. I disagree with this. Herschel went through a big arc in season 2, from when we first met him to the finale. In the first half of the season, he was like, walkers are just sick people. They can be cured, they can be brought back. And he was stashing them in his barn. And it took Shane to go all apeshit on him to make him open his eyes. I like that. I would not change that. Would you guys change that? I personally would. I I love it. Kat agrees. I love the way they did Herschel. I'm a white boy on YouTube writes, the reason Carl survived was because the bullet hit the deer first and slowed it down. Absolutely. Absolutely. Vanessa Perry on YouTube writes, Shane should have left to come back later as a major enemy. That would have been really interesting. Cassandra also agrees on YouTube. It was done right. Haley says on Instagram, Mrs. Herschel. Sandra Carroll says Herschel was a good man. He was a great man. Scott Wilson, great actor. All right, let's go to number 6. Sophia's death. Absolutely best. I would put this at number 1. For them, it's number 6. I've mentioned this many times in the past, guys. The Sophia Barnes scene is what cemented me as a lifelong Walking Dead fan. You know, it was still halfway through season 2. We only had 6 episodes in season 1. I was really into it. I liked it. You know, I was definitely going to watch season 2. But this moment, this barn scene is what turned me into from a Walking Dead fan to a diehard Walking Dead fan. This was the first shock factor that we ever got in the Walking Dead universe. And man, was it a doozy. It was a doozy. Luis on Instagram writes, this season was the best. CC Weezy writes, I would rather Sophia would have gotten her comic story and lived till the end than happily ever after with Carl and Sophia in the comic books get married. Haley writes, I have always been a hard Walking Dead fan. Suseth is giving us a thumbs up. So that would be my number 1. Number 5. Okay, I agree with this. Would change Andrea. Yeah. I would, not in season 2 though. Season 2, she was alright, I guess. Not really a big factor. Season 3, Andrea, I would definitely change. Absolutely. I would change season 3. And they go on to say, in the comics, Andrea was always being positioned as Rick's love interest, as well as someone who could help to carry the entire show long into the future. In the TV series, however, that didn't really translate. Whether it was the writing or the casting itself, Andrea just didn't come across as a particularly likable character. Yep, I like Laurie Holden a lot. It's just, I don't know, maybe the role of Andrea and Laurie Holden was just not a good fit. That's all I can really say about that. Okay, number 4, best, absolutely. Glenn and Maggie getting together. The best TV relationships are the ones that come out of absolutely nowhere. And Glenn and Maggie fall into that category. Their relationships seem to form out of the convenience more so than anything else, but in the end, they soon realized they were meant to be together. Who would have thought? You know, you guys remember how Maggie approached Glenn? Basically, she said, do you want to do it? And he's like, yeah. Anyway, that's how the relationship started. And they're right. It was a relationship of convenience. You're at the end of the world. You're facing the end of the world. And, you know, why not? And they became a great couple. And the love that they had for each other is undeniable. Undeniable. Great job by Lauren Cohen and Stephen Yen on acting that out. They did great jobs. Okay, number 3 would change Dale's death. Ooh, I'm kind of on the fence about this one. Let's see what they have to say. Dale might have been viewed as an irritating presence by a handful of fans, but largely most people felt as if his death was fairly needless and also a little bit too predictable. It allowed Carl to grow as a man, courtesy of Dale's death, pretty much being his fault. But in terms of the execution, it just didn't really work. I don't get their writing there. I don't see how they're blaming Carl for Dale's death. Dale was on patrol duty, and the walker just snuck up on him. I think blaming Carl is inaccurate. I just don't agree with that. I like Dale. I really did like Dale. He was needed on the show at the time. Let's say he didn't die in season 2. I definitely don't see him in season 10 of The Walking Dead. So if he didn't die in season 2, what? Does he make it to the prison? Does the governor kill him? Does he make it to Terminus? You know, does the termites, as they're called, kill Dale? I don't know. You know, he definitely would not have made it all the way to season 10. So if not season 2, when? That's my question. If Dale did not die in season 2, then when does he die? All right, number 2, best. The Farm's Last Stand. It was such a great finale. You know, season 2 had such a great season finale when the farm got overrun. The sight of the farm burning to the ground, which, by the way, guys, they really did actually burn. They built the barn and the farm, and they burnt it down. The sight of the farm burning to the ground was hardly a pleasant experience for viewers, but it made for one of the most dramatic scenes in the show's entire run thus far, when it became obvious that there was no way they could fend off the surge of walkers. They could fend off the surge of walkers coming their way. The group quickly decided to leave and head off towards the unknown. All I could say was great finale. Cassandra on YouTube writes, it was awesome. The burning of the barn. Yep. Kat writes, Dale is not cut out for that world. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Kat. I'm a white boy writes, it wasn't Carl's fault at all. Yeah, I don't know where they got that from. I have no idea where they got that from. Okay, number 1 would change. They would add more Daryl in season 2. Wow, okay, more Daryl. How do you guys feel about that? I don't know. I think Daryl's character arc through season 2 was pretty good. I would definitely not give him any less screen time. Giving him more screen time, would that have helped? We all love him just as much now. So, I don't know. What they say, aside from being shot in the head and attempting to find Sophia from time to time, there wasn't all too much to be said for the influence and impact of Daryl in this season. I think this season, even though they may say that Daryl had limited screen time, this season, season 2, is, especially in the finale, is when we start to see Rick and Daryl's relationship start to blossom, start to bond. Rick starts to trust him. We know in the finale by what Daryl says when he says Rick's done all right by me, that by the end of season 2, Daryl trusts Rick. So I think it's great how they did that. They also go on to write, it took a while longer for him to become one of the core members of the group as he continued to stay on the outside looking in. Aside from just being another member of the crowd, it would have been nice to see him insert himself into the decisions that mattered to the entire gang. Well, there you guys have it. Their number 1 thing that they would have wanted to see is more Daryl. My number 1 thing was the Sophia barn incident. So whichever one you guys pick out of that list, like I said, it's their opinion piece. You know, we all have our own opinions. There is no right or wrong answer. Soft TWD on Instagram writes, "There's no such thing as too much Daryl." That's awesome. Christian has given us a thumbs up on Instagram. Haley on Instagram writes, "Literally, you can't have too much Daryl." I agree. I definitely agree. Stenningold writes, "Daryl looked so young in season 1. He did. And for all the people out there that wanted Carol and Daryl to hook up in the earlier seasons, for me, that was always kind of a sticking point. Now they seem much more being the similar age, because it looks like Melissa McBride just hasn't aged at all. So now Daryl and Carol, I don't want them to get together, so please don't misunderstand. But all the people that wanted a Daryl and Carol relationship, you know, back in the early seasons, Daryl seemed so young, while Carol just seemed to be a bit older than Daryl. For me, that was always a sticking point. So anyway, Kat writes, I was happy with Daryl's screen time. It was the right dose to make me start to wonder if I could like him without throwing him into the viewers' faces. Soft TWD writes, Is it too confusing, the AMX, being on this account, on this live? Did I miss something, guys? I must have missed something, Daryl. Let's see. Sandra writes, Daryl is getting better and stronger now. Yes, absolutely. You cannot argue with that. Mist is giving us a thumbs up. Drismo says, hello from Morocco. Welcome. CC Weezy writes, now Max regulars know who you are. Okay, so for those of you guys that saw our topic today, we are going to be comparing Alexandria, Hilltop, and the Kingdom. We didn't include Oceanside because, as I've mentioned in prior episodes, don't know that much about Oceanside to make a educated guess on how they stack up. So we sort of left them out of the equation here. We're going to be focusing on Hilltop, Alexandria, and the Kingdom before it fell. So as it stands right now, the Kingdom has fallen. That is not coming back. Hilltop is burned to the ground. I truly believe that is going to be rebuilt. We've discussed it on this show earlier as well. We all seem to agree that of the Whisperers that survive the Whisperer War, if there are any that survive, have them rebuild Hilltop. You know, they burnt it. Let them rebuild it. You know what I'm saying? So then Alexandria. Alexandria is the community that just will not die. It has fallen 3 times, and it's always come back. It's always come back. The walls have collapsed, you know, overrun by walkers. Negan blew it up bit by bit with his grenades. And now the 3rd time is when they abandoned it when Beta and his crew came. And for some reason, Beta and the Whisperers, they just left Alexandria the way it was. The way they came in, they left it the way it was. It didn't show them doing any kind of damage to Alexandria whatsoever. Now, if I was the bad guy and I'm looking for this group of people who I absolutely hate, like Beta does, hey, I'm in their home community here. I would trash the place. You know what I'm saying? But no, they left it as it is. So who knows? Haley writes, it should definitely add more Daryl and Carol time. Cassandra writes, except they crushed all the crops walking all over them. Okay, I can see that. Summer writes, I like season 1 Daryl and season 9 and 10 Daryl. Cool. All right. So what I did today, guys, is I put together a PowerPoint presentation. I want to thank our entire team here at Dead Talk Live, Walking Dead Now, for contributing to tonight's topic. I took everybody's ideas and I combined them into a PowerPoint presentation so we can all review it and share our insights. And as always, guys, you are welcome to call into the show. If you're inside the United States, the number is 718-509-9270. If you're outside the U.S., just use Skype. Look us up, Walking Dead Now. And if you use Skype, it's a free Skype to Skype call. So your phone calls are always appreciated. So let's take a look at this PowerPoint that I put together. And here we go. Hilltop versus Alexandria versus the Kingdom, the Walking Dead communities. And here we have the Hilltop. Thank you, Kat, for giving us these pictures. They are awesome. So that is the Hilltop. Nice aerial view of the Hilltop. Okay. So these are Kat's points, okay? Hilltop, very fertile. There has never been a problem with food at the Hilltop. In fact, other communities rely on Hilltop for them to give them food. Plenty of lumber, farm equipment. There's a hidden passage to escape. Tall walls that were built by them. Good view, presumably on top of the hill, to see any oncoming threat. It is vulnerable to fire, which we saw with the Whisperers. And even when we first met the Hilltop community, when we got introduced to Jesus, guys, they did not have any ammunition. So their weapons are primitive. They had spears when we first met them. That's it. They just had spears. So now this is Ethan's points on the Hilltop. The Hilltop was set up pretty well. They had a lot of people, and the people that knew how to farm, take good care of the place. They even had a blacksmith, and Earl. Alexandria did not have a blacksmith or the farmers besides Maggie, but she was at the Hilltop in season 7 and 8. And, well, they had Eugene, but he got taken by Negan. Hilltop had a terrible leader, that Weasel Gregory, unlike Alexandria and the Kingdom, which had, unlike Alexandria and the Kingdom, which had Rick Grimes and King Ezekiel. Rick and the King were not cowards like Gregory, but it did take them a while to build up the courage to fight the Saviors. Ezekiel starting in season 7, episode 16, as well as Rick, season 7, episode 16. So, more points by Ethan. He thinks that the Hilltop had what it took to survive before Rick and the gang ever made it to Virginia. All they really needed was a leader that would stand up to people like Negan, but they didn't have anyone like that besides Jesus. And, well, Jesus did not want to be the leader. And this is where the part of Jesus that I don't really like, he left Hilltop at the hands of Gregory. Even him knowing that Gregory was a weasel. I really wished, even though he did not want to be the leader, he was built as a leader. So my wish was for Jesus, even though he didn't want the position, that for the good of his people, he would have at least stepped up and taken it. It goes on to say, it wasn't until Maggie showed up and became the leader that Hilltop became a solid community that had what it took to survive for years. The Hilltop was a huge part in the Whisperer War. That's where one of the biggest battles took place. And in the end, Hilltop was destroyed, but we all know it will be back at some point in the show's run. I think Maggie will come back, and they will end up rebuilding the Hilltop with the Commonwealth's help, or in my opinion, the surviving Whisperers' help. Put their asses to work. Maggie will become the leader again. I don't know about that. This is where maybe me and Ethan might disagree. I really don't know if Maggie is going to become the leader of Hilltop. Yumiko has been running Hilltop. She's been doing a pretty decent job from what we saw so far. But anyway, he goes on to say, cycle will start all over, and maybe the Hilltop will be one of the final places standing when the Walking Dead TV show comes to an end. So, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Just that Maggie point. How many of you guys actually want, when Maggie does come back in this finale, so in season 11, how many of you guys actually want Maggie to pick up where she left off as the leader of the Hilltop? I personally don't. Good morning, Amir on Facebook. Jovi's also joining us. Hello, Lynn on Facebook as well. Cassandra Drake on YouTube writes, I love Hilltop. Well, once Maggie got rid of Gregory. So, I liked Hilltop too once Maggie took it over. But do you guys have any opinion on whether you guys want Maggie to assume the role of the leader of Hilltop again? I say let Yumiko handle it. And as Lauren Cohen described in an interview, the Maggie that we're going to get again is not going to be the same Maggie we remember. So we'll just have to wait and see about that one. All right, let's continue on here. So here it is, Alexandria. Okay, let's see what we have on Alexandria. Cat's notes on Alexandria. Electricity, solar, and running water. Gotta love that. A watchtower, comfortable housing, tree-lined streets, secure gates, and steel walls. Very important. The bad parts, not very fertile land for crops, and the snowstorm, or any kind of storm, can knock out the power at any time. So, I think technologically speaking, Alexandria, because it was built by an architect, Reggie. You guys remember Deanna's husband, Reggie? He's the one who built the walls and all that stuff. He was an architect, so he knew exactly what would be needed, and he did a great job in preparing Alexandria for the fall of the world. Stenengold writes, Maggie will have to prove her worth. I don't think it's as much as she has to prove her worth as far as she is going to be a completely different person. You know what I'm saying? I think she's going to be a different person for the better. I think, I loved her before, and I'm going to still love her, and I think she's going to be better than the Maggie we saw last. Gamer writes, due to the leadership, she wasn't giving enough time to the group. Sandra writes, who could be the leader of Hilltop? Please don't say Negan. No, Negan's going to be the leader of Alexandria. Mark my words. Negan is going to be the leader of Alexandria. I've stated that before, and I stand by my words. Elaine writes, and the Michonne will tell him that Negan now is a good person. Talking about Maggie. Evelyn writes, yep. Richard is giving us a smiley love face. So that's as far as Hilltop, I say leave it to Yumiko. Alexandria, no doubt about it. Negan, absolutely. That's who I want to run the Alexandria. So here's some more on Alexandria. This is from Summer. Summer shares with us that Alexandria survival was pure luck. Before the group arrived, the camp had not been overrun. We later find out it was because most of the walker hordes were trapped in the quarry. When the group arrives in Alexandria, they find luck again because the residents do not know how to defend themselves. And we know by this time our group are, well, they're pretty much experts. Summer also goes on to say, eventually Alexandria's luck would have run out if our group did not show up. Summer goes a little bit off topic here and says, I wonder what would have happened if a Negan scout found the group before Aaron did. That's a great point, Summer. So instead of Aaron approaching Rick and the gang to join Alexandria, what if a Savior scout approached Rick and the gang to join the Saviors? Excellent point, Summer. Summer goes on to say, do you guys think our group would have joined the Saviors? They were so tired of being out there. The Saviors had shelter and food. And Glenn, that's some great points, Summer. And if you guys remember when Deanna was interviewing Glenn, he tells her in the interview, we were not gonna last much longer out there. So Summer brings up a great point. If the Saviors approached Rick in dire need of food, shelter, rest, would they have taken it? I would probably say initially yes. Now, once they got fed, they got rested, they hydrated, and they met Negan and how he handles things, well, you have two alphas right there with Negan and Rick. I mean, we saw that in the war. It's like Shane and Rick all over again. So initially, maybe, yeah, they do join the Saviors, but it would not have lasted very long. That's my take on that. But excellent point. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see. Right button. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. Apologize for that. All right, next one. This is Andrew's take on Alexandria. Alexandria survived because Deanna was sent there from the beginning. Deanna was Reg's wife. She was a congresswoman. So she was a good leader, role model for the modern civilized world. So she managed to make Alexandria a safe place in the beginning of the apocalypse, and Alexandria got very lucky to have an architect to build the walls. But as we got further into the apocalypse, it was clear she was not cut out to lead in a deteriorating world. And she knew that. So Rick took over and kept Alexandria alive in the new world. And here is more pictures. This is the Hilltop, I believe. Let's see. No, the Kingdom. My bad. Okay, here is Kat's ideas on the Kingdom. Again, secure walls. Out of all the three communities, not as secure as Alexandria. Alexandria has the best walls. Then Hilltop, and then the Kingdom. Farming land and water was available. Access to livestock. Materials for armor and weapons. Now the negatives, failure with infrastructure, plumbing. The place was falling apart, and they didn't have the materials to maintain it. It was just falling apart. It was deteriorating, and they did not have the supplies and the materials to keep up with it. Fire damage to the buildings, and a hard winter led to the boiler failure just before the fair, which basically that was it. We all know what happened at the fair. That was King Ezekiel's last chance to try to save the kingdom. It flopped because Alpha had different ideas. She kidnapped a whole bunch of people. She infiltrated the fair to get to Lydia. She slaughtered a lot of freaking people, put their heads on pikes, and that was the end of the kingdom. And then we had the finale of season 9 with the storm, and them having to, go through that storm, cross into the Whisperer's land on the borders that Alpha set out. And like I've mentioned before on this show, season 9, the finale, is the only season on The Walking Dead that actually sort of kind of had a happy ending to the season. Out of all the 10 seasons so far, season 9 is the only one that kind of had a happy ending to the season. They made it back to Alexandria. They were having that snowball fight. We saw Ezekiel and Judith talking on the radio between Hilltop and Alexandria. So there you guys have it. That's our take on the 3 major communities of The Walking Dead. And that worked out great timing-wise because we are out of time. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight and every night. I love all of you. Thank you so much to my team, our team. We're one big family. The viewers, you're a part of our family. Thank you so much for joining us every night. A lot of hard work is put into this show, and it's because of you that we do it for. So thank you so much for your support. If you want more information about our show, like I said yesterday, we are listed on IMDb now. The link is up on our website. If you go to deadtalklive.com, you'll find past episodes, featured episodes, all our contact information, everything you could possibly want. And please, if you haven't already done so, please go to our YouTube page, which is called Walking Dead Now. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And for all our viewers on YouTube right now, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button on tonight's broadcast if you enjoyed it. I'll be back on the air again tomorrow night, same time. And until then, guys, remember to stay walking.